So I was talking with Chris Willis, who's the managing editor, covers the Atlanta Braves for Battery Power. It's a website dedicated, part of the SB Nation series of websites and things like that. And we were talking a little bit about, I had him on my radio show last night. We were talking about the idea of, could this be the year that the Atlanta Braves run wild on the base paths? Now, couple things here. Number one is the Braves are a very aggressive team on the base paths. And I've said this for years now, that one of their underrated elements has always been their speed. And I've always enjoyed seeing the Braves utilize that speed, whether it's Ronnie scoring from second on a bloop single, whether it's a guy scoring from first on a double to the wall. Braves have always had really good team speed. And this year, when you look at Ronnie, Ozzie, Michael Harris, right? Vaughn Grissom. You've got guys that can run around the bases and motor around the bases. So they've been an aggressive base running team naturally, whether it's Ron Washington, whether that comes from Snitker, but they've been aggressive. And then you add in now the rules that are in place where when a guy's on first, you can only throw over twice. Okay. And then you got the bigger base. Imagine if 1983, you'd have had the bigger base and only be able to throw over twice. How many stolen bases would Ricky Henderson have? 300? What would Tim Raines have? 500 stolen bases? These guys are to run wild. And I want to see the Braves bring that element in. We already know that they're aggressive on the base pass. But when it comes to stealing, I want to see them be aggressive too. I want to see a guy standing at second with nobody out and Olsen or Riley or Ozzie or whatever up at bat, right? I want to see second and third with one out more often because it just helps your offense. And this is not being reckless or anything like that, but you look at whether it's Vaughn Grissom, whether it's Michael Harris, whether it's Ronald Acuna. Yeah, I know that there's been articles written about, 40-40 and all that kind of stuff. Ronnie can certainly be a 40 stolen base guy. Michael Harris could be a 30 to 40 stolen base guy. Vaughn Grissom could be 20-25 stolen bases. Heck, even in the season that in the half a season that Ozzie had, he was a 20 stolen base guy. I love speed in baseball. I love aggressive play. I love stealing bases. Because if you can get that 90 feet without having to sacrifice an out or anything like that from your lineup, just puts much more pressure on the defense. And when you look at the idea of not being able to shift anymore and different things like that, batting averages should in theory go up. Run scoring should in theory go up. Just from the idea of the rule changes that are in place. But if you can add that element of the stolen base, look, the Cardinals of the mid-'80s made a living out of it with Willie McGee and Ozzie Smith and Vince Coleman. They were a World Series champion and they made a living out of it. And that's not to say that, look, the Braves have plenty of bashers, right? They got Riley, they got Olsen, and they got these guys that can just mash the ball to the ballpark. But rather than stand around and wait for the 3-run homer as baseball has evolved, man, take advantage of that speed element. Take advantage of the new rules that are in place. And I think that there will be an emphasis from Snitker, from Ron Washington, that part of the game will come back into play. The Braves already do a pretty good job of that, right? Michael Harris, we talked about 20 some stolen bases. Vaughn Grissom was doing some stolen bases. Ronnie is a 30 stolen base guy. Ozzie, 20 stolen. I mean, they do a pretty good job of it, of taking the guys that they have and really utilizing their speed. I want to see more of that. I want to see the Braves be able to manufacture more runs, not just sit back and wait for Riley to club a 3-run homer or Matt Olson to club a 2-run homer. I want to see them be able to manufacture some runs. Because at times, this offense, when you get to the playoffs and you face elite pitching, isn't able to manufacture some runs. So I want to see them be able to play some station-to-station baseball at times. And yeah, I know it goes against everything that's ingrained into the baseball world, right? This whole 5-year period of baseball, the way it's been played now, again, it's all this radical change. Other than the fact that for the first 150 years of baseball, you played a lot of station-to-station baseball, and then you got the occasional home run and stuff like that, from guys, but that's how baseball was played. But this team has got a lot of elements, and whether it's at the top of the order, whether it's through the bottom of the order, whether it's through the middle of the order, there are guys all through that lineup that can really motor and get around the bases. And with these new rule changes in place, the base, the size of the base, the inability to throw over a lot, I really hope that the Braves take advantage of it, because they are one of the teams that is built that they can score a lot of runs in unconventional ways. They don't have to just sit on base and wait for the 3-run homer. They can have a guy at third with 1 out and hit a ground ball to second base, and that guy can score if you get the right guy on there. So I want to see the Braves run wild on the base paths this year. I hope Snitker and Ron Washington allow these guys to crank things up and get things going, and obviously utilize all of their speed element, because they do it on the base paths just naturally. Now I want to see more stolen bases along with it. All right, let's talk about our friends over at Built Bar. Listen, everybody's trying to get themselves in shape now, right? And we're looking for all those snacks that are low calorie, low sugar, low carb, everything, and we're trying to get in a healthier frame of mind, and we're trying to eat better, right? Built Bar has got you connected with all of their different product lines. Check out at built.com today. You can try the old-fashioned protein bars. You can try the marshmallow or the protein-infused marshmallow puffs. Whatever you choose, they're somewhere around 130 calories, 17 grams of protein, and only 4 grams of sugar. So as we're trying to get healthier and find better snacks, Built Bar is the way to go. And now with Built Bar, besides going to built.com, you can go to Walmart. You can go to the pharmacy section of Walmart and pick you up a box of protein bars. Or you can go to Sam's Club now and pick you up a box of protein bars. So whether you go the brick and mortar route or you go online, get your box of Built Bars today. Now available at Walmart and Sam's Club, and as always, at built.com.